left off last time, we were right in the middle of the Fantasy Flows power rankings that I put together that you and Andy, my co-host, you're going to be reacting to it at the same time. He has no idea what's coming next. And yeah, like I said, we went 32 through 17, and we were right in the middle of this tier of teams that I said they are Super Bowl long shots this year. So they have a chance, but like it's really small. So here we are, team number 16, and Andy, this is a spicy one. We're starting off hot here. Okay, at 16, I got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh boy. Actually, that's probably pretty accurate. I don't think that's spicy compared to the rest of the world, but to you and me, I don't think so. I think that's just about right.
Yeah. They were the 16th best team last year, just by draft order. I mean, this is just how it fell, and I have them right in the same spot. And a lot of Cincinnati Bengals supporters are going to be quick to point out, well, look at how much they've invested. You know, they brought back T. Higgins. Jamar Chase has a new deal, and this offense is going to be great. And it's like, well, yes, they have secured the long-term future of the offense, but like all those players were there last year, right? Like,
right.
Last year everything went wonderfully. Joe Burrow was healthy all year, and he was slinging the ball all around, and you really found something with Chase Brown. His efficiency numbers weren't through the roof, but he's a great pass catching back, and he was better than Zach Moss. Definitely an improvement. And they only won 9 games, and I think it's because their defense was horrible, and they're not a very well coached team. And what happened this offseason? I mean, their defense got even worse. So you lose one of your. He's not one of the best in the league, but he was kind of one of your rock solid pieces on defense in Jermaine Pratt, inside linebacker. You lose him, replace him with a second round rookie. And then in your first round, you haven't even signed, as of this recording, you have yet to sign your first round pick, who's an edge rusher that I am not high on to begin with. I mean, the dude hardly got a sack in college. And you spent a first round pick on him, and you can't even sign him yet. And then your other pass rusher, Trey Hendrickson, he's planning on holding out. So I don't know how to project that. I just know that last year Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. And like I said, this team only won 9 games. So excuse me for not projecting some massive leap forward when you make all these sacrifices to preserve this great offensive trio. But when we just saw that it's not actually a winning formula.
No, it's not. Vegas has them at 10.5. I think they're going to get 10 wins at most. I think a lot of the talking heads, including ourselves, are going to be talking about the disappointment of another disappointing year from the Bengals and that they're wasting Joe Burrow's career. Now, they're going to be flashy. They're going to be high-powered on offense, but are they going to win games? Probably not. Pretty much the exact same roster, and one thing I was just looking at, they didn't do anything in the draft. They didn't trade up. They didn't trade down. They drafted their picks, and that was it. And their picks weren't that great. Nothing stood out that said, wow, this is a game changer for this team.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. And their schedule is going to be rough. Their division's going to be rough, as it is every year. And I just have a hard time putting them any higher than they finished last year, considering what happened this offseason. Now, for fantasy football, I love this team for fantasy football. I think especially considering how bad their defense is, I think Joe Burrow is going to throw it a crap ton. There's going to be enough to go around for Chase and Higgins and Chase Brown, and maybe you could even convince me that their tight end is kind of a sleeper. What do you think of when for the Bengals for fantasy football?
I've been really having a hard time placing my opinion on Chase Brown. I actually just this morning went through a mock draft and just went down the ADP list and was added players to my queue. And I get stuck at Chase Brown because it seems like the community is really high on him. And from what I saw last year and just what we know about the team, they're going to have to pass a lot to stay in these games. I can't nail down an opinion, so I'd love to hear like if Chase Brown is available for you between him and Kyron
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, are you taking him over Kyron Williams? Are you taking him over certain other players?
How do you feel about Kyron Williams?
A lot better than Chase Brown. A lot
Okay.
better.
Because to me, that's like his perfect comp. Because
Mm,
no one's out here saying Kyron Williams is this phenomenal running back for football, right? Like Jonathan Taylor's going right next to those guys. I think we would all rather have Jonathan Taylor on our NFL teams, but Kyron Williams is just in this situation where he is the do-it-all back for a high-powered offense, and he catches a lot of passes. And yeah, I if I had to choose between Kyron Williams and Chase Brown, I would take Kyron Williams because it's more of a known commodity, and I think I like the Rams' offensive line a little better than the Bengals' offensive line.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just feels more safe, but they profile very similarly. I mean, Chase Brown caught so many passes last year, and that's how I project this offense to kind of go again. And so just not from a talent standpoint, but from a pure like situation, especially if you're in a PPR, like I love Chase Brown. He's right there. Like
Mm.
if Kyron Williams and Jonathan Taylor are gone, I have no problem taking Chase Brown.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. But yeah, give me Joe Burrow. I think T. Higgins is a little bit expensive. I think I have a little bit of PTSD from T. Higgins from last year. But give me
Yeah.
Chase. Give me Jamar Chase. Give me Joe Burrow. Those are easy picks in my mind.
Yeah, T. Higgins has 1 year where he's fully healthy, and it's like he's all the way up in the second round, like nothing ever happened. Like we didn't just go
Right.
through 3 straight years of him playing like half the season. Number 15. This is finally where I gotta go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
high, but this is really like the like a 10-7 sort of range, right? You're 15th in the league, and I think that that's absolutely possible for this team. Some people think that this is one of the worst defenses in the league. I guess I'm giving them a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more credit for having 2 first-round pass rushers, rookies who are coming in being asked to make an immediate impact. If both of those guys are busts or if they're slow to start, then yeah, this team's going to struggle defensively. They have a good secondary, but yeah, if they can't generate a pass rush, their secondary is going to be asked to do too much, and eventually guys are going to get open, and that's not good. But yeah, I like their linebackers quite a bit. I think I'm higher than consensus on that, and just their defensive head coach. I guess I'm giving him a little bit more of a pass last year for how the team did, and yeah, offensively, there's so much to like. Like this team has a very good offensive line. They play in good weather. They play in a weak division. There's just a lot going their way, and I love Michael Penix. I really believe, I mean, I watched him for 2 straight years. You and I both probably caught a lot of Huskies games, and in the limited sample size that we have of him in the NFL, he looked very similar. He was very accurate. He was good in the pocket, and yeah, I don't know. I really like the pieces outside of Kyle Pitts. I like the pieces for
Yeah.
NFL. I like the pieces for fantasy. Bijan Robinson with that offensive line, like I think he still has room to go even higher.
I think we expect the Cincinnati to be ranked higher than Atlanta, but then when you look, they're actually very similar. They have
Yes.
a lot of high power offense. The coaching staff is a kind of a still a question mark, and the defense is shit. And but man, Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, like you said, the 2 first round picks, Leonard Floyd. Do you?
Hmm.
It's like you could have a lot worse names and on your defensive side, and then like you said, their offense. I mean, look at their wide receivers: Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod. I mean, Ray Ray's still got some gas left, and he can blow by folks. And Darnell Mooney, this is like his resurgence team, his tour with Atlanta. So I'm about it. I think this team is going to surprise a lot of folks.
Kirk Cousins was really bad. He turned the ball over a lot, and the offense really struggled to move. So I think now you're going into the second year in the system, second year with your rookie quarterback, no longer a rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm projecting growth. This is, you could say it's kind of an upside projection, but I'm not kind of doing this like median projection. I'm genuinely thinking like this is where I expect the team to go. So in this case, I'm expecting them to make a leap. I love Drake London. I think he's very safe. And Darnell Mooney's a massive steal right now. I love people just keep talking about other guys like Josh Downs or whoever on the Patriots. It's like, give me a guy who's going to be on like a fast-paced passing offense, who's locked in as the number two. And that's the other thing about this offense, especially last year. Like you named those three guys, those three wide receivers, they played like almost every snap for this team. It was those three guys: Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod. So very concentrated targets. I love Bijan Robinson. You can't draft him too high, in my opinion. They're really set up for success. Number 14 is their division rival. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I kind of wanted to put the Bucs higher, but we're actually getting into like playoff teams. You know what I mean?
Yes. Contenders.
We're still in the long shots category because that's in the frame of reference of like Super Bowl. Like, but I mean, this is our first team that I project to win the division. So,
right.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about postseason. We're talking about Baker Mayfield building on what was already, by all accounts, a successful year. And they just keep loading up. Like, they brought back Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is still there. And then they used their first-round pick on another wide receiver. For fantasy football, that's really confusing. But for NFL, you got to love
that's
it
amazing.
if you're a Bucs fan. Yeah.
Yep.
There's not a lot of holes to poke. I think their left tackle, he just got surgery on one of his knees, so he's going to start the year on the PUP. That news just came out like yesterday or this morning or something like that. I don't know. I want to put him higher, but then I'm looking at the other teams on the list, and I just have a little more confidence. Is that fair? I don't know. I'm just a big Baker Mayfield fan, but he can be erratic, and this defense is kind of good, not great.
No, this is. I have no arguments. This is exactly where I'd put him.
Okay. How do you feel about Mike Evans this year? Because he's going to get you 1,000 yards every year. Are you really going to bet against him this year?
Nope. It's kind of like the whole Travis Kelce argument. Like you just keep on betting on it until it doesn't work. And yeah, you might be holding the bag. That's just the risk you're going to have to take.
Yeah, he's going right next to Devontae Adams in drafts. And both really old guys who show no signs of slowing down. They're just old. So you're getting a little bit of a discount. And I love both of those guys. Honestly, I'm probably drafting Devontae Adams before Mike Evans just because his receiving room is less crowded. It's just Puka. It's like Puka and Devontae. And then Tutu Atwell. Like, that feels a little more locked in to me, whereas you got a lot of mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. But I love both of the players.
Yeah, I'm probably going Mike Evans, but it's really close.
13, Green Bay Packers.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, I was expecting you to say a different team, but dang. Okay, Packers. Let's hear it.
Yeah, this team's floor is so high. With Matt LaFleur makes this team's floor really high. It's just great coaching. They spread the ball around a lot. Their line play, you can trust it on both sides of the ball. I love that. But yeah, their division is really tough at the same time. I got the Vikings ranked ahead of them. I have the Detroit Lions ranked ahead of them. So I can only rank them so high, but at the same time, like I really do like this team. I like where they're going. They got a first-round wide receiver, which again, that's a headache for fantasy. But maybe with just like the Bucs, it's like if there's so many competent pass-catching options, maybe you just draft the quarterback. That way you don't have to worry about it, and that's your investment into this team's offense if you believe in it. So I do like Jordan Love this year. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Is Jordan Love just a tick better than Trevor Lawrence? Like I feel like Jordan Love's needs this Matthew Golden guy to work out and be a
Mm,
dominant number one, because I think he's having a hard time understanding how to win these games. He just spreads the ball around too much, and maybe that's probably definitely part of the scheme, but I feel like Jordan Love is holding this team back unless he takes that step up to be that type of a level of quarterback, or at least closer to it.
yeah, in my mind, there's more of a gap between him and Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, you're right. Like Jordan Love was caught multiple times last year trying to do too much, and he was not trusting his team. He was not, you know, living to fight another day. He was trying to go for it all, and it didn't feel necessary. I just feel like this offense is set up so well. You're going to get Marshawn Lloyd back, who missed all of last year with an injury, so now you're going to have a 1-2 punch with him and Josh Jacobs. My biggest worry when it comes to this team is not Jordan Love. It's probably the secondary. You could even throw the linebackers in there, but yeah, I worry about them in this division specifically. There's some great wide receivers, and I don't think that their secondary looks very good at all. But yeah, I expect them to be above 500 again. I expect
Right.
them to be right around where they were
Oh
last year,
yeah.
honestly. This is about where they finished. So,
Sure. Sure. I think yeah, I agree. I think they'll hit 9 or 10 wins. Are you drafting Jaden Reed or Matthew Golden?
if I had to pick one, I would pick Jaden Reed. But I,
Yeah. I think I'm going Golden. I don't know. Reed, if you draft Reed, when are you going to put him in your lineup? You're going to have to put him in your lineup every week. And then you're going to be disappointed. You're going to take him out, and then he's
yeah,
going to do well, and you're going to throw him back in, and then he's going to suck for 2 more weeks, and then you're going to take him out. I'd rather just have Golden that, hey, they've never done this before. They've never drafted a guy like this and put in a position right away. I'll take a
yeah,
shot.
yeah. That's the problem with this offense, right? Is they're going to spread the ball around a lot. Tucker Kraft's going to get involved, and it's like it's not going to be one guy every week who's leading the team in receiving yards. So
I agree.
it's a tricky spot in the draft too, because where you're drafting them, it's like, is he your flex? Is he your second flex? If your league has a
Mm-hmm.
second flex, if it's like one of my first bench players, then that makes a little more sense to go Matthew Golden, because you can afford to wait a little bit, see how it works, wait for him to, a rookie receiver sometimes gets 4, 5, 6 weeks under his belt, and then he explodes and takes over. So
Right.
yeah, there's definitely more upside with Matthew Golden. So yeah, I guess it depends on what I've done up to that point in the draft. Number 12, and this is the last team in this tier. So I see all these teams as like playoff teams, but not really Super Bowl teams. They're still
Sure.
long shots. But at number 12, I have the LA Chargers.
Wow. Okay. Where is Houston on this list? That is my biggest question. I the Chargers being this low is quite crazy. Like lower than the Broncos. Like, okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, well, look, I love what they've done on offense. I trust it. I don't think Justin Herbert's won a playoff game yet, but this might be the year, because they
Mm,
really invested in the offensive line last offseason, and now this offseason they've gone out and they've they've gotten the exciting pieces, right? What's that
right.
what's that saying? You gotta go to the department store before you go to the toy store, or something like that. It's just like they took care of their needs last offseason, and this offseason they go and they draft Trey Harris, one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft, in the second round. They take Omarion Hampton, running back, in the first
Mm-hmm.
round, and
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna split the backfield. So I have my concerns for fantasy, but for NFL, this offense is really gonna move. I really believe that. Defense is where I'm worried, and I'm also worried just that their division is so tough, and we haven't seen a ton of postseason success from Justin Herbert himself but I could be talked out of it. I'm pretty high on this team. Just talking about it, I am getting excited. But yeah, there's a lot of question marks on defense.
I take back what I said. I think they're below the Broncos, but man, below the Texans. That's a bold statement. So I'm excited to hear what we have next.
Okay, so the next team on my list is the Houston Texans. The Texans literally beat the Chargers in the playoffs like
True.
a few months ago. Uh,
True.
but yeah, the Chargers did make a lot of nice additions in the offseason, like Super Bowl contenders. And I feel this way about the Texans primarily because of the Texans defense. It's just an incredible group. The pass rush led by Anderson Jr. I love the linebackers, and then they have two great safeties. Just all the pass rush numbers, efficiency, pass rush win rate, and all that stuff just really favors the Texans. And then yeah, offensively, I'm just projecting a big bounce back. They got rid of their offensive coordinator, and the new offensive coordinator is a total wild card. So if you're going to hold that against this team, I totally get it. Like, I don't know enough about the guy to really say, like, oh, this is exactly what he's going to do. This is his scheme, and this is how it's going to work. Like, I can't give that to you. But I just have a lot of faith on the defensive side of the ball, and then C.J. Stroud being able to figure out the rest. But the offensive line is another huge question. So
Yeah, it is. That's what's going to determine how far this team goes. Similar to what we said about the Jets a few years ago. On paper, they're stacked, but if the offensive line can't keep C.J. Stroud safe, then it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I mean, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, like what an awesome duo in the backfield in my mind, and like just stacked all over the yard on defense. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, as you mentioned, like yeah, this team is going to be fun to watch. And yeah, I would say you're projecting them to make a pretty big leap to kind of step in that conversation or step in the same room as the top heavy hitters as in the AFC.
yeah, they won their division last year. They won a playoff game last year, and I think they improved on defense, and they made a lot of changes on offense. I don't know if they've improved on offense.
Sure,
But,
sure.
yeah, no, I do love Jaden Higgins, wide receiver they added in the second round. For fantasy football, I am drafting Nico Collins if at the 1-2 turn all the time. And I find myself drafting Jaden Higgins, who I project to be the clear wide receiver 2 on this offense that is, I think it's going to be a really nice passing offense. I think he's going to get a lot of volume, and he's going really late.
I'm all about Joe Mixon. I mean, I was about him last year, and he way outperformed. He's been on. I know the worry is the offensive line, another year added to the belt, but he's been on really crappy offensive lines in Cincinnati before, and he's still succeeded. So in my mind, it's like he knows how to find those gaps, how to find those holes,
Yeah.
how to juke. Do everything he's supposed to do with the worst positions in front of him.
Yeah, he's a great pass catching back, and Nick Chubb doesn't profile as a pass catching back. Nick
No,
Chubb is the
no.
clear backup. This isn't a split backfield, in my opinion.
Right.
Not until
I
Joe
agree.
Mixon shows signs of decline. So yeah, he's at a tough spot in the draft because he is getting up there in mileage, but yeah, I do like it. If you go wide receiver early, Joe Mixon feels like a really safe pick to be like a weekly starter at running back later in the draft. Number 10, the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh, this is spicy.
I didn't know what to do with the Niners, man, because
Oh,
they could be in the Super Bowl one year, miss the playoffs the next year.
ooh,
I
this
think
is spicy.
I move them around probably more than any other team because I'm like, what do I project with a team that has such a wide range of outcomes and with CMC being so important to this offense, and is he healthy, is he not? Well, he's healthy right now. George Kittle, despite his age, has shown no signs of decline, And I think Ricky Pearsall is gonna. He's one of my favorite picks too, man. I think he's really gonna step up into this offense. I don't like Brandon Ayuk. I don't know what was going on last year. Hopefully, it doesn't translate into this year. But no, I just think that this offense is gonna roll and this defense is gonna suck. And I hope that they can do enough to justify this ranking, but not enough to win the division or go back to the Super Bowl or anything.
Yeah, I think CMC is probably one of the biggest question marks in the first 3 to 4 rounds in the fantasy draft. In your fantasy draft, I'm about it. I'm about taking that risk.
Ooh.
The reward is so high that the risk is worth the pain.
Okay, yeah, no, I might be with you. We'll see where his ADP is in a month or two, but yeah, he's going right in the middle of the second round, right? So you go running back, and Christian McCaffrey's your RB2. Like
Right?
that's really
Right?
cool. I like that almost better than going wide receiver running back because then you're really relying on CMC to stay healthy. But if you
Exactly.
go running back, then you're really safe at that position. It feels like you're a little more insulated from the devastation that he's brought fantasy teams in the past. But man, yeah, I love drafting George Kittle where he's going. I love drafting Ricky Pearsall, like I said. But yeah, defensively, I mean, they had to make a lot of sacrifices this offseason, right? They paid Brock Purdy. That meant letting some guys walk. And yeah, they lost a number of all pros. They still have Fred Warner, and they're hoping that he can just kind of be the glue that holds everything together. Yeah, I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
said, really hard team to rank. I have them cracking the top 10 as a Super Bowl contender. Curious what their Vegas win total over under is because, yeah, at 10, this is kind of like a. I don't know. I'd probably have them at like 10 and a half, 11.
That's exactly where they're at.
Yeah,
They're
figures.
in the
Yeah.
top seven of Vegas win totals.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, I think you got them dead to rights right there.
What's the Denver Broncos over under? Because they're my number 9 team heading into 2025.
Ooh, buddy, Denver is 9.5.
Nine and okay, very similar. Um, yeah, so like I said, these rankings, man, offense, defense, special teams. I love going into year 2 of Sean Payton and his system. Bo Nix getting another year under his belt, and this defense was one of the best in football last year. The offensive line is one of the best in football. Uh, like what's not to like
I
when it
agree.
comes to this team? They have
Yeah.
Evan Ingram. I'm so excited for Evan Ingram this year. I am irrationally excited for Evan Ingram because he's not reliable. He's not a good blocker, and yeah, he couldn't even stay healthy last year. But man, I just feel like he's such a good pass catcher, and Sean Payton worked wonders with Jimmy Graham for all those years, and
Right.
I see it. I see him being this big, fast target that is not Cortland Sutton that Bo Nix clearly needed last year. Um, I was looking it up. The second highest receiving yards on the Broncos was like 500. So it goes from like
Oh
a
God.
thousand that Cortland Sutton had to like 500, and it was just a bunch of guys,
Yeah.
right? Mims, like Marvin Mims, like
Yeah. Gadget guys. Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully those guys can step up. But the point that I'm making is that Evan Ingram, I think, is going to make a big impact, not only himself for stats and fantasy, but like just the whole offense. I'm very excited about that. And this team already had so much. I mean, I think they won 10 games. They made the playoffs, got blown out in the wild card round. But that's what happens when you have a rookie quarterback. And
Right.
yeah, this is year 2. And like I said, I am projecting step forward. It seems very logical to me that this Broncos team that's so good on defense with a great offensive line just had too young of a quarterback, and now we're going to progress. We're going to take that next step.
Yep, I totally agree. Bo Nix really needed a tight end, and he really needed some solid running backs, and he didn't have either last year. And now they get R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins and Evan Ingram to fill those slots. I mean, this team is set up for success. And R.J. Harvey wasn't even their first round pick. They went Jade Barron to help with an already stacked secondary that they had. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this team is set up for success. I totally agree. I'm excited about Denver this year for sure.
Man. Yeah, I mean, if you consumed any of our content over the last few months before we took our break, like, I'm a huge RJ Harvey guy. He, Most people, he was like their running back 10, 11, 12. He was my RB5, and then the NFL draft comes, and he's the fifth running back off the board. So, I'm going to give myself one of these. And not only that, he goes to one of the best situations. And a lot of people are worried about, oh, well, they just signed J.K. Dobbins. It's going to be a split. Yeah, maybe like the first few weeks it's going to be a split. But this is J.K. Dobbins' third team in 2.5 years. Like, and he's literally famous for not staying healthy. Like,
Right.
and his efficiency last year on the Chargers, the first few weeks it was really good, and then after that he was like 3.5 yards a carry. Yeah, he got a lot of volume. We thought it would be Gus Edwards. It wasn't. It was J.K. Dobbins. But like he really wasn't that efficient. He wasn't that great. And I don't anticipate him holding back R.J. Harvey all year.
No, neither do I. I agree.
Number 8, I have the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Okay,
I
last
like it.
year's NFC Championship participants. It's a hard team because they overachieved last year. So putting them at 8, it feels like I'm really knocking them. That's not what I'm trying to do. They made some good moves in the offseason that I really like. I think Deebo Samuel still has something. He lost a step. He's not gonna catch 1,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards or anything. But I think he's going to fill a void on that offense. Jaden Daniels, man. No one's really talking about him because he was the talk of the town last year. But it's like, can he improve in his second year? Or is it a thing where the rest of the league now has a whole year of tape to watch to prepare? And maybe he has a sophomore slump. Where are you at when it comes to Jaden Daniels this year?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for both sides of it, I think this team is going to be really good. I think it's going to be a little bit of a decline. It's kind of the whole CJ Stroud thing all over again. People are, saying not to compare or not to be results oriented like that. And I don't know. It's just when you set such a high bar, it is the odds of hitting that again after your first year where nobody has tape on you. It's a brand new head coach. It's an offensive coordinator that is either been away or is brand new. Everything is lining up the same, almost the exact same way. And we saw CJ Stroud take a pretty big dip. I don't think Jaden is going to take that big of a dip, but you have to kind of set your expectations just a hair below of what happened last year, or else
Yeah.
you're just going to be greatly disappointed.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I would bet against Jaden Daniels throwing any 50-yard Hail Mary touchdown passes this year.
Yes. I think Debo's going to be great for the offense, and I think they're running it back with pretty much the same squad. So why can't, who's to say they can't go to the NFC Championship back-to-back years?
Yeah. I mean, I have them right here in the middle of this tier called Super Bowl contenders. They're not Super Bowl favorites, which is the next tier, but yeah, they're going to be in it. This offense is going to spread the ball around, I think, a little too much for me to get excited about really anyone besides Jaden Daniels for fantasy. I think this running back room, Brian, not Brian Thomas, Brian Robinson,
Yeah.
his passing stats were literally cut in half last year when the team added Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler's still there. He's still kicking. So I'm not super interested in either one of those guys. Although if one of them were to go down, then the other one becomes incredibly interesting. But, and then tight end, I think Ben Sinnott's gonna take a leap in his second year, but Zach Ertz is still there. So I don't know. Do they split? Do they not? I'm not interested in either one of those. And then when it comes to wide receivers, Terry McLaurin's ADP is just too high. That's
Oh,
that's
really? Okay.
too high
Okay.
for me.
I like, sure. I like Terry. I wouldn't mind drafting Terry, but you bring up some good points.
All right, number 7. The wait is over. It's the Minnesota Vikings. It's J.J. McCarthy and reigning Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell. I love this team. Andy, I know you love this team. This team
Hmm.
won 13 games last year. Andy, give me this team's over under.
This team's over under is lower than you think. 8.5.
8.5. This is not a 500 team, you guys. So like the same people that will say, "Oh, the Vikings, they're going to be kind of middle of the pack this year," are the same people that don't give Sam Darnold any credit for what happened last year. It's like they won 13 games. Was that because of Sam Darnold? No. Like no one
No.
thinks that. So you swap out Sam Darnold for another quarterback, and in my mind, they should win 13 games again. Like this is a quarterback who is a highly touted first round pick, won a national championship, and now has had a redshirt year in what everyone is now knows to be the best, most quarterback friendly offensive scheme. And he's had a whole year to just soak that in, and like I said, just redshirt. And I'm really excited for what he's about to do. I think the sky's the limit. You have TJ Hawkinson back healthy all year. That wasn't the case last year. Um, and then they drastically improved the offensive line in the offseason. They poached two great offensive linemen from the Colts O line that now they're on the Vikings. And that's really what undid the Vikings in the playoffs, it seemed like, was just interior
Hmm.
pressure up the middle. So they addressed that head on. And then defensively, they have like a top 5 defense by every
Yeah.
metric.
Yeah. I agree. This defense is nobody gives this defense the credit that they deserve. They also bring back Aaron Jones. They get security for the running back position with Jordan Mason, one of the most
Yep.
efficient running backs after last year. I mean, and then we don't even have to talk about Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. This team is going to ball out. This team is going to compete for the NFC North division title.
Nick Mullins stepped in to this offense and produced. Who is that kid from the Arizona Cardinals that just like walked in and was suddenly like a top 12 fantasy QB? I don't know his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Josh
Yes.
Dobbs. Yeah,
Yes. Josh
yeah.
Dobbs just walks in and starts winning games for the Vikings. Like, it's not even a question in my mind. Like, JJ McCarthy will be at least that good. He will at least be like a competent game managing quarterback for one of the best rosters in football, for one of the best coaches in football. And the O line is improved. So it's like, it's easy money in my mind. Uh, yeah, I don't know that I'm actually going to draft JJ McCarthy for fantasy football just because in a single quarterback league, there's a lot of options out there. But yeah, in a two quarterback league, super flex, like give me all the JJ McCarthy. And when it comes to the rest of the Vikings, like you can't go wrong in my opinion. So obviously I'm way higher than consensus on the Vikings, and I got another team that I'm higher than consensus on right here at number 6. That's the LA Rams. This team was not healthy last year. It seemed like they weren't really even trying. At some points, the division was so bad. It was like they were just accidentally winning enough games to make the postseason. And then when they get
Right.
to the postseason, they just dial it up, just like a NBA team full of veterans, right? It's just like, okay, well, here's the postseason. Let's dial it up. And they think they win a playoff game, and then they go toe to toe with the Philadelphia Eagles, giving them their biggest challenge throughout the whole postseason, including the Super
Hmm.
Bowl. This is a very dangerous team, and it's a very young team. I think that's why I have them ranked so high, is because I'm projecting them to take even another step forward. Their defense, in particular, is very young. I think that they're going to be just 1 year closer to their primes, and that's really scary to think about. And then on offense, you go from, I hate to besmirch Cooper Cup. You know what? I'm not going to. Cooper Cup we all saw it last year. He was dealing with some injury. Maybe he was dealing with some age, whatever it is. You swap Cooper Kupp with Devontae Adams. That's an upgrade as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, just very excited for this offense. And yeah, if Matt Stafford can stay healthy, I think this is like a 12-13 win team.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler Higbee's coming back, which they desperately needed last year. Yeah, I think this team is Sean McVay is kind of like what the Chiefs did when they were so prolific on offense. They got to a certain point year after year where the offense just kind of slowly took a step back and relied more on the defense because they knew what they had at the quarterback and what they had at the skill positions. They could always turn it on when they need to, but they don't have to have the volume at 10 every single quarter, every single possession. So I think that's kind of what the Rams are going to start going through right now is like, okay, we don't need to shoot for the long ball every possession. We don't need to put this game on Matthew Stafford's shoulders every single game. Let's rely on the defense.
Yeah. Just pulling this up real quick. Puka Nakua, he missed a lot of games last year. But when he was there and he played more than 50% of the snaps, he was literally averaging 20 fantasy points per game in a PPR.
Oh my gosh.
He was top 5, if not top 2, if you rule out all the games where he didn't play the full game. If you take those games out, he was second in wide receivers in points per game.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's just incredible. We're going to talk about it on a future episode, but there's a lot of other signs pointing to the players on this offense just having a ton of opportunity. I'm very excited about Devontae Adams. Puka Nakua, look, he's in the first round. I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
Yeah.
He's right there with Amon-Ra St. Brown in my mind. And Kyron Williams. I mean, we've already talked about a lot of these players in reference to like other guys, but yeah, clearly I'm very high on the Rams and on the Rams offense. I trust Sean McVay. I trust Matthew Stafford. We've seen it. It produces for fantasy, and there's a lot of opportunity there.
I agree. Give me Puka in the back of the first round, start of the second, all day, every day.
All right, so that was team number 6. We are now entering into the top tier of the NFL. These are not just contenders. These are Super Bowl favorites. Number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills.
Whoa. Talking smack there, boy?
Is that too early?
I think that's too low for them Buffalo
Okay.
Bills. Oh yeah.
Well, I got some stats. And I'm not gonna empty the clip here, okay? Because I'm gonna tease a future episode we got coming out. I'm gonna call it Spicy Nuggets. I think I was hungry when I was trying to think of the name for it, but that's what it is. I've been digging. I've been diving deep. These are some of the best like stat nuggets from 2024, and some of these stats, man, they're not good for the Bills. I gotta tell you, they were very fortunate last year throughout the regular season. Very fortunate. Things like turnover margin and rushing touchdowns, just way like outlier stuff. Josh Allen, he won MVP, and props to him, like very deserving. But yeah, I think some regression's coming their way, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust this defense like I do some other defenses, and offensively, I think they're due for some regression. But I still think they're a top 5 team. I think they're they're one of the Super Bowl favorites. There's no denying that.
Yeah, there's no denying that. I think, man, I think they got unlucky in some games, and it didn't break their way. So therefore, I don't know. This team is just too good in my opinion, and their turnover margin, I think that's solid coaching. I think that's an upgrade on their coaching and their discipline. I don't know that. I think their point differential, they were blowing out teams. They weren't winning. They weren't scraping by. Like Hell, I was there for one of those games. They destroyed the Seahawks. Like,
Okay. So yeah, we got some anecdotal evidence creeping in here, I think. Yeah, they absolutely blew out the Seahawks. If this was a power rankings of like teams that kicked the Seahawks' ass the hardest, they'd be number one.
are you okay with James Cook this year?
Um, I'd feel a lot better if he signed a contract. If the Bills actually gave him a contract extension that he was willing to sign. But I think some regression's coming his way. He got a lot of rushing touchdowns, and he didn't fumble the ball like hardly at all. But he's undeniably like the lead back for this team. In years past, it felt like Josh Allen was like vulturing all of his points, but that just didn't come to fruition last year. There was enough to go around. Like you said, they had the lead in most of every fourth quarter, and so that allowed them to really run out some clock with James Cook. He's not circled as like a steal, but I'm definitely happy if he lands on my team.
I think he's gonna have to play. They're not gonna give him a contract, and they're just gonna make him run like crazy. Because then they're not gonna give him a contract next year.
Yeah, run him into the ground.
I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And everyone is so like his ADP is a little bit lower because of the unknown.
Yeah, Josh Allen himself for fantasy football. I mean, I was looking at quarterback consistency over the last few years. What's actually consistent, particularly when it comes to touchdowns, because touchdowns are king when it comes to fantasy football. Who's actually consistent in scoring touchdowns? And the only guy that was consistently dominant was Josh Allen. And it's like, that's why that's why you have to draft him where you have to draft him. You know,
exactly.
He's such a stud. Number 4, Detroit Lions.
Yeah. So this is where I have the pushback. This is where I say the Buffalo is better. Minnesota is better. Those are the two teams that kind of raise the bar than Detroit. I'm really nervous about losing the coordinators for this team.
Yeah. They didn't lose the head coach, but they lost the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. And personnel wise, like the guys on the field, they're pretty much running it back. So it's like, how can this team not take a small step backwards? It's like, what improvement did they make? I'm not sure. Hopefully they just have better injury luck, because they were ravaged by injuries last year. So I don't know. I got them at 4. I think they got to be one of the Super Bowl favorites. I'm choosing to believe that this offense isn't just going to fall apart when Ben Johnson leaves. I think they're too talented. But yeah, no, there is cause for concern. More so than the Bills. Like I said, I think just regression is going to hit the Bills hard. But on paper, I can see what you're saying.
Sure, I hear you.
For fantasy football, who's your favorite Detroit Lion at their current ADP?
Give me Jahmyr Gibbs all day. This is a guy that you just love to watch. It's just fun to have him on your fantasy team and see him blow the other team out of the water, do a big run, catch a ball, do a spin move, break away a couple tackles. Like, yes, like this is fun to watch, and you're helping me win. Like, double win, baby.
Yeah, it's incredible what he's doing on such a limited volume. Like, he still doesn't play like 75% of snaps. Like, he just comes onto the field,
right?
Just dominates for fantasy football. The way that they use him is it's as if they have like our league scoring systems in mind. You know, he just racks up all the points, and it's incredible. Yep. He has room to even go up. But you do not only have to use your first round pick on him, you have to be in like the top half of your draft order.
Yes.
So
you do. Yeah.
He's not a secret at this point. Everyone knows it, and yeah, he's gonna be a very high pick. I like Jameson Williams at his ADP. He did not get suspended last year for the first time in his career. He did miss a few games due to injury. But yeah, he is being drafted right now. I feel like right around where he finished last year, and he only played 14 games last year. So it's like, yeah, give me one more year in this offense, one more
Mm-hmm.
year where maybe he plays the whole year. I really think he's just such a talented dude, and just the way him and Amon Ross St. Brown play off each other, um, he's so explosive. And yeah, if he's my wide receiver three, like I'm pumped.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, because then you probably have two studs already. I'm a little nervous, kind of with the same Commanders argument, is there's just a lot of mouths to feed. So how secure can this guy be when you're hoping to plug him in every week? But you know
Yeah,
the reward is kind of worth the risk.
that's the thing. I feel like last year he kind of surpassed Sam Laporta in like the pecking order of like, okay, who
Yes.
needs to get fed first? It feels like they were really prioritizing Jamison Williams, not over Amon Ra, but like
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
he's one of the best wide receiver twos in the whole league, and yeah, he's there for you in the fifth round. Number three, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep, I think we're going to be in a lot of agreements here. I'm tempted to take the bait and say the Chiefs aren't going to win the division this year.
Yeah, yeah, that was a question that I threw into the group chat. Uh, and yeah, it's really tough to see all these great teams in their division on the rise, the Chargers, the Broncos, and it's just like, man, the Chiefs 11 and 0 in one score games last year.
Crazy.
That is credit to great coaching and great quarterback play. We know the Chiefs have both of those in spades, but like, can that really happen again? And Travis Kelsey looked really bad at the end of the year. I just don't know what is going to happen to this offense. I'm actually pretty scared of this offense for fantasy football. I think
Hmm.
they're going to spread the ball around a lot with Xavier Worthy, Rasheed Rice, and Travis Kelsey all there, all healthy. I wonder if there's enough to go around for all of them, or if it's going to be like a Green Bay Packers situation where one week it's this guy, one week it's this guy. You know, I like Isaiah Pacheco to have a nice bounce back year. They didn't bring in anyone in like one of the best rookie running back classes we've seen. The Chiefs didn't draft a single running back. Instead, they re-signed Kareem Hunt, who was very inefficient last year. So I like Isaiah Pacheco to come right back into his workhorse role. But yeah, as far as this team goes, they're going to be in the top five. They're going to be a Super Bowl favorite for as long as they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Not a lot more needs to be said, I don't think.
Yeah, they to speak about them winning the division or not, they had to get 15 wins because the Chargers and Denver both hit double digit wins. And both the Chargers and Denver were plus 100 on point differential. And the Kansas City Chiefs were like, I'm looking at it now, they were about less than 60, a little less than 60. So
Yeah, they were winning every
that
game by like 3 points.
thin margins for victory, and they were getting to all of them. So I don't know. I really worry about a regression. I agree that they're still a Super Bowl favorite. I think you have them in the right tier, but man, like I said, I am really tempted to take the bait.
Yeah, I think we should definitely discuss that more on a future episode because, like, I'm not going
Sure,
to be the idiot that ranks the Chiefs at like seven and
I
they just
agree.
like go back to the Super Bowl, you know?
Yep,
But
yep, I agree.
yeah, I do share some of your concerns there. We're going to move on to the number two team in the NFL 2025. That is the Baltimore Ravens. Eagles are number one. That's just a classic power rankings rule that if you win the Super Bowl, you stay at number one until you lose a game. That's my
Yeah,
code, and I'm
yep.
sticking to it.
Yep, I agree. Unless you like blow up the team for some, and why would a Super Bowl winning team ever do that?
Right, right. Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. How about you talk a little bit while I try to pull something up? Go ahead and talk about the Ravens for fantasy football.
Sure, yeah. Ravens for fantasy football. I've kind of been avoiding Zay Flowers, to be honest. Mark Andrews, and I don't know. I think it's just kind of like last year. Well, last year I was definitely more on Zay Flowers, but this year it's all Derrick Henry, it's all Lamar. Last year I was in a draft where somebody drafted their first two picks were Derrick Henry and Lamar, and I was like, "What are you doing? That is like you just drafted two running backs on the same team. Like that is ridiculous." And
Stop.
she won it all. Like those two just killed it for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me I saw that and I got real jealous. I had a lot of FOMO. So yeah,
Yeah.
I want to do that this year. I want to have Derrick Henry and Lamar on my team. That sounds like a great time.
I love Derrick Henry, dude. The rules just don't apply to him. Like
I agree.
age cliff, like certain number of rushing attempts in a career, like, oh, this guy's gonna fall off. Like, yes, but not Derrick Henry. And like, oh, but I'm in a PPR, so that means I should draft like Chase Brown. It's like, no,
Yep.
like it doesn't matter what your rule, what your league settings are. It's like just Derrick Henry is going to take
Explode.
whoever drafts him to into the playoffs and
Yep.
probably make a deep run into the playoffs. I love Derrick Henry. And yeah, I the tight end situation is really interesting because Mark Andrews had a horrible year last year, but he's falling in drafts. So it's like, is he falling enough to where you could spend a seventh round pick on Mark Andrews, who's historically been a
Wow.
top five tight end?
Yeah, I mean, last year he was like the third tight end off the board or something
Right.
like that between Travis Kelsey and what maybe Trey McBride. So yeah, that's or Sam Laporta. Yeah, Sam Laporta.
Yeah,
He was probably a
it was
top
Sam
four.
Laporta. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, yeah, that's crazy that he's in the seventh round. That seems like a crazy good steal in my opinion. They're gonna find ways to win. They don't care about favoring a certain player. They don't care about making sure a guy gets his. Like they're Rashad Bateman still on this team for somehow in some way. They keep on giving him money for some reason.
He scored a lot of touchdowns last year. Come on.
He did. That was his very first year of doing anything, and yet and now he deserves the bag. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just this
That's how
team
it
is
goes.
is just yeah, it is. But this team is just stacked defensively, offensively, and for just fantasy wise, give me Lamar and give me Derrick Henry, and I don't want to have to like play footsies with other guys to try to figure it out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, they are going to spread the ball around a lot, and just again, I was kind of hemming and hawing of where to rank these top five teams, and then the Ravens. Not only did they spend a first round pick on safety Malachi Starks, which was, I mean, their secondary was a problem all year. And so they spent a first round pick on that, and then they signed Jair Alexander. And I was
Right.
like, okay, well, look, yeah, it's the off season. All we have to go on is what these teams look like on paper. And I
Yep.
feel like the Ravens have like the best roster in the whole league. So
Oh,
they
second
really,
second best roster.
well, like I said, the Eagles are number one because they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Let's talk about the Eagles. Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, some would say it's sexy, but yeah, I was just going to talk about their offensive line and defensive line and how it's not particularly sexy or flashy. The ways that they win. Jalen Hurts isn't doing a whole bunch of Mahomes stuff, right? But it's just dominant line play on both sides of the ball, and they have stars in the starting lineup, and they have really great players as depth, and it's just like, I mean, that Super Bowl performance was crazy. Like I was
Yes.
going crazy. I bet on the Eagles to win minus 5.5, and I should have bet minus 15.5.
Yes, yeah. It's easy now to say that, but yeah, definitely the best roster in the NFL, top to bottom. they can run the ball with Saquon, they can throw the ball with Jalen Hurts, and you just name a pass catcher that they have. I mean, this is just, they are going to dominate you. The coaching staff, I'm sad to lose Kellen Moore. That part's going to be interesting to see how the new offensive coordinator works with this team. But overall, they're going to win. They're going to win the NFC. Like, this is, I would be shocked if they don't make the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, same here. What's interesting that kind of distinguishes the Eagles offense from these other top tier offenses like the Bills, like the Chiefs, they don't really spread the ball around. And for fantasy football, I think it's easy to kind of forget that, but like this offense is really just Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and sprinkle in some Dallas Goedert here and there. But like the targets are really they're really compressed into just those guys. And that's really valuable for fantasy. But last year they just didn't really need to throw. And they ran the ball on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down, and on the goal line. And it was just Saquon had so many rushing touchdowns, as did Jalen Hurts. But like, what if they take a step back and it forces them to maybe compete all the way through the fourth quarter in more of these games, more passing opportunity? I don't know. How do you feel about A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith this year?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. I think people are going to give them the respect that they deserve when it comes to their run game, and you have to be fluid. You can't be stagnant, especially as a top tier Super Bowl favorite team. So yeah, I think there is going to be more passing. I'm okay drafting AJ Brown. I'm okay drafting Devonta Smith, as I am those two every year until I see otherwise. It's like you said, it's very concentrated on those two guys on the pass catching side of things. So I'm okay having AJ Brown on my team, and I have the first pick in one of my long lasting fantasy leagues. I'm going Saquon Barkley. I don't care about who knows and what and who's going to do with what information. Until I hear otherwise, I'm going Saquon Barkley.
It's crazy to think that Saquon's still only 28 years old. It felt like he was just rotting away with the Giants, but really, like, he's in his prime right now, and he's having the time of his life. But you got the Super Bowl hangover, and you got the Madden cover. So does that make you think twice?
Maybe a little bit more the Madden cover than the Super Bowl hangover. That Madden cover curse.
It's no joke.
It is no joke. So yeah, you bring up a good point.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many backwards hurdles he does this year.
Right. Highlight of the season for sure.
All right. Well, that was teams 16 through number 1. Let us know in the comments where we messed up, where I messed up, really, and where you agree with Andy. Just hit us up, follow, like, subscribe for more. Like I said, we got a lot of good stuff coming out, lots of fantasy analysis for 2025, and that starts with my next episode that I'm going to bring to y'all is called Spicy Nuggets. Bring your popcorn, bring your sauce, and we're going to dip into some fantasy gold.
Love it. Love to hear it.
All right. Until next time.
See ya.
Thanks a ton for making it to the end of the episode. You're a real one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a free, easy way to support the show, and it really helps us out. And leave us your comments down below if you're on YouTube, or send in your questions at thefantasyflowpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time.